Markin.
Hello, good afternoon. The bird's eye view of the Brighton seafront.
OK, will do. Many thanks. Well, as I say, we do have a little bit of machinery problems upstairs. Well, this is our first day back after about a week. So let me tell you what's happening later on. As I say, after 7:30, Star Trek, the motion picture. We've then got the national news from the studios of IT, and then an ace pathologist called Quincy has to get himself through a smoke screen. That's coming our way at 10:30. But now we're back on course, I think, with different strokes.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come two, they got nothing but the genes, but they got different strokes it takes, different strokes it takes, different strokes to move the world. Everybody's got a special kind of story. Everybody finds a way to shine. It don't matter that you got not a lot. So what? They'll have theirs and you'll have yours and I'll have mine. And together we'll be fine. 'Cause it takes different strokes to move the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to move the world.
Well, hello, and if you've just switched on and joined us and beat the rush hour traffic, so to speak, on this Wednesday evening, you're certainly more than welcome. As I've just mentioned, obviously, we've got some technical problems next door in the control room. So let me tell you that in just half an hour's time, of course, at 7:30, it's Coronation Street. Now, we're flashing me next door, so let's see what's going to happen, shall we?
The Knitting Exhibition, Sandown Park Exhibition Centre, 22nd to 25th of January. Everything for the hand and machine knitter. 5 fashion shows each day.
You can take the famous paper bag, and if you're very good, you can hop on it. And we've got lots of stuff to give away, including, in here, the top 10 singles, including Musical Youth, which is quite attractive. Exciting. Do you like that record? I think it's cool.
I think it's great. I think they're great too.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think you've got so much enthusiasm. It's great. Tokyo Charm and Runaway, which you've heard before. Exciting, eh? And this, which has got rather attractive cover, the UB40 album. Can you see that cover there? It's rather nice, isn't it? Very fetching. You can also look at yourself in that as well. Have a little preen. All right, that's UB40. This, I don't know who that is. It looks startlingly like you. What? I was going to say, this ring in your mouth. I couldn't quite work that out, Kate. What is it?
Oh, you need to look again if you think it's a ring.
I'll put it down there and I'll ask you about that in a second then. Jimi Hendrix album, you've got one of those, which is rather nice. Also something special coming up at the moment about Jimi Hendrix. More Jimi Hendrix, wonderful stuff here. Are you packing that right?
Yeah, oh, very carefully.
Otherwise you'll have Sherlock down here after you. And Kim Carnes' album as well. Well, they all fit in there, I hope they will. And also Kim Carnes' carrying case, which is rather nice. I don't think that'll fit in there, but it might go by the side of it. Let me have another look at this anyway. Well, seemingly it's you holding onto some bloke's ears with something in your mouth. It looks like a... Is it a key?
Yeah.
It's a key! Uh-huh. Why?
Why? That's the question. Well, if you listen to the album, and especially to the song Houdini, then you'll know all about it.
Ah, I understand. It's to help you escape. Well, you can put that in there because whoever wins it will get that as well, which is rather nice. Do you have a local store you go to or not?
Yeah, I do for vegetables and things like that.
Do you always buy the same things? I find when I go down to the store, I always think, what shall I get? And I always end up getting exactly the same things every week.
Well, I try to get different things, but normally it's the same things.
Do you get out to shop much on Saturdays or not? You mainly stay in bed after working a lot?
Yeah, I try to sleep as much as I can normally.
Right.
Yeah.
As well as plying around the country and making records, obviously, I mean, these days with more and more videos, you're very into making videos. Do you find it easy? I mean, it's a completely different sort of medium, really, isn't it, making videos? Is it something you enjoy doing?
Yes, I love doing it. I think the great thing is that it's a very growing industry, so, you know, each time you make a video, there's probably new effects around and new techniques.
Are you able to throw in your own ideas, you know, or does the producer say, right, Kate, you know, you'll do this and you'll do this? Or are you able to say, listen, I fancy doing this? Do you get quite a bit of freedom?
Yes, I do. I think because of the way I used to work, I always used to work with Keith Macmillan, who was a fantastic director, because it's really the director in videos who keep the direction together.
Yeah.
And he was very great. He always used to let me get as involved as I wanted to, and I learned everything I know from him, really.
Who's your choreographer as well? Because, I mean, having seen lots of... I've got a whole video cassette of you at home.
Have
and
you?
the dancing is amazing. Does somebody do your choreography, or do you do that yourself?
Well, for the tour, I had a lot of help from a man called Anthony Van Last. But for a lot of the videos, most of the choreography is mine, yeah.
Because I know a lot of girls would like to dance like you. And they say, "Oh, I wish I could dance like Kate Bush does." I mean, all this sort of movement. Does that come from anywhere? Did you see anybody and say, "That's how I'd like to dance"? I mean, did you model your movements on a particular dancer or not?
I don't think I actually modelled the movements, but I've definitely been inspired by particular people. And when you see people that are really great, you want to be like them. But I think the thing about dance and music is it's very much an expression of you from within. So even if you learn to dance or sing, there's always that thing from you, which is really what it's about, I think.
There's hope for me yet.
Oh, definitely.
What about the singing style? That was derived from somebody, or was that just something that naturally came? Because it's very unique, your style.
I think that's something that grew over the years, because when I first started singing, I had a very untoneful voice. I mean, I could sing in tune, but there was no quality to my voice at all. And over the years, the more I kept singing, the more it started changing and growing.
I'm still at the untoneful stage, so you never know. I'll keep trying.
Yeah, you must try. You must keep trying.
Right, we're going to see your video in a second. Michael Biggs, who's 20 and lives at Evans Close, Brampton in Cambridgeshire, he says, "I'd like to see Kate Bush, please." Well, your wish is granted, and your order is granted as well. Here's Kate Bush singing The Dreaming.
We three noses are in ecstasy. We're happy hooters because you see, all these people round us are protected by right guard. Helps keep them dry and odor-free, cause it works very hard. Like noses, us closes are full of joy, cause right guard protects us from stains, oh boy. And that's what double protection proposes. It's good for your noses and your closes.
When I pay good money for saucepans, I expect them to last. Don't you? Now, Prestige Lifetime is guaranteed to last 10 years. And that means thousands of hours on your cooker and a lot of time in the washing up. That's why only Prestige Lifetime have thicker stainless steel bodies, solid copper bottoms, and real teak handles. Excuse me.
You can put the dinner on. I'll be home in 20 minutes.
For looks that last, it's Lifetime. Only from Prestige.
Here's a chance for you to collect Ronco's famous Box Gold record sets at a very special price. Classical gold, disco gold, military, country, jazz, they're all included. Each box set contains 4 LPs and are always tremendous value at $7.49. But now you can get £2 off every set. While stocks last, you can buy any set for just $5.49. Box Gold from Ronco. 4 long-playing records or cassettes for just $5.49.
Oh, you're a fine one to talk, you and your busty opera stars. Stop that! I'll call the attendant.
I'm not dead yet. You'd like to see the back of me, all of you. Max, Kokoschka, and all the other army of admirers at your feet. You always wanted fame. Well, it looks as if you'll have to settle for notoriety. Well, don't let me stop you. Get off at St. Polton with Max. See if I get it. Beethoven.
Gusto.
Well, what do you know? Here I am again. Of course, as I was saying, at 7:30, it's Coronation Street, and at 8:30, comedy once again, in the company of a certain Mr. Benny Hill, and then at 9 o'clock, Edward Woodward stars as the Equalizer.
One cold afternoon in the early part of 1941, as dusk was settling over naval barracks, I went into one of those corrugated iron Nissen huts which sometimes served as dormitories to pull the blackout curtains. There was no one inside, but the radio was on, and I was riveted by what I heard. The latter part of a talk by T.S. Eliot. He was speaking about Father Charles de Foucault, who was murdered in the Sahara in 1916. The first draft of Little Gidding wasn't put on paper until August of that year, I believe, so many of its ideas and phrases were probably revolving in Eliot's mind when he gave that talk. When he finished speaking, I experienced one of those rare, still moments which seem timeless, outside time. A moment later, there was an air raid warning, and all was flares, flak, and the thud of explosions. The line, "History is now in England," seems in retrospect to have been prophetic. It was, in any case, in its superb patriotism, a most generous line for an American to have written, although, of course, he was an American who had lived on our shores for many years. He once said that his reputation as a poet was staked on the four quartets, of which Little Gidding is the last and the summation of the others, Burnt Norton, East Coker, The Dry Salvages. A few weeks ago, I visited the church at Little Gidding, at the dead end of a rough road near Huntingdon. In 1625, Nicholas Ferrer brought 30 of his family and friends to the place, acquired the manor house, and started a small Christian community. They were high church royalists in a Puritan and parliamentary area. There's a sort of innocent unworldliness about their very existence. King Charles I sought refuge there in 1646 in flight from Cromwell's armies. And shortly afterwards, the parliamentarian forces ransacked and looted the house, desecrated the church, and made a bonfire of all its books, altar hangings, and the exquisite needlework done by the women of the community. Nothing remains of the manor house now. Dust in the air suspended marks the place where a story ended. Eliot was not a man to be afraid of the desert places of the spirit. Perhaps that sounds rather arid. Then let me add that I have rarely met a man who could laugh so richly and warmly, that I've never met a man with a better palate for a really good, strong, ice-cold, very dry martini, and I doubt if I've met a man, playwright, poet, man of letters, of greater humility, a condition of complete simplicity.
Going to London, certainly, sir, I'll tell you how. Going to London, certainly, madam, there are 3 trains an hour. There's a slow train at 10 minutes past, and another slow train at 10 minutes to. There's a fast train on the half hour. That's the train for you.
My first guest tonight is someone who's a very firm favourite with the viewers, a regular on Celebrity Squares, a big star of the enormously successful Are You Being Served, and currently touring in a smash hit version of My Fat Friend. Ladies and gentlemen, John Inman.
How nice to see you. I didn't have got up this morning. It's not been easy getting here. I've had terrible time in the traffic as well. I got stuck behind a great big bulldozer. Then it was a tractor, 100 sheep.
100 sheep?
And that was in Piccadilly Circus.
Oh.
Is this a frog?
Yes. This is a frog. This is Kermit. And Kermit, this is John Inman.
How do you do?
How do you do, John? It's very nice to meet you.
Oh, God, it talks.
And Kermit is the executive producer. Well, he's the producer and the executive. I've got that right?
Yes, yeah.
You are.
Producer, yes.
That's what you like to be.
Of your show?
Pardon?
Of your show?
Yes, he's been guiding me throughout the entire production.
Yes, I knew things were bad for you, but that really is straight.
Wait a minute. Your guest just insulted the executive producer here, Des.
Well, that really...
The guest doesn't insult the executive producer. He doesn't come in and insult the executive producer.
Well, I don't think that John is the insult... You're not the insulting type.
No, I didn't really mean it as an insult, but I mean, I know what he's been through, and I just... well, it's very nice to meet you, I'm sure.
Yes, it's nice to meet you, too.
Could you just...
Now ask some questions, Des.
Yes, that's what you said I was to do.
That's what an interviewer does. You ask questions.
If you could just breathe in. Do frogs breathe in? Yes. You may croak shortly if you're not careful. John, let's get back to your... were you always bent on a show business career? Were you always... Did you always feel that this was your way of life? I mean, how early was it that you...
I'll answer the first question. You're getting worse. Always, yes. I used to give concerts in the backyard. Oh, yes, I did. With the clothesline and my mother's blackout curtain.
How am I doing, Kermit?
Well, you're supposed to be saying witty things.
Oh, I see.
You know, I mean, some of these questions are supposed to be funny. You know, you're supposed to ask a question and he says something and you say something funny.
I see.
That's the way it works.
Let's try. Your sports, are you interested in things like outdoor sports, like hiking and camping?
Camping, yes. I have been known to do that from time to time.
Yeah, I see. How's that? Is that the sort of thing you want?
Well, no. See, he's getting all the laughs. You see, you're supposed to get the laughs too. You see.
Yes, well, I'm supposed to play this straight. You said.
No. You play straight some of the time, and then you're supposed to top him.
Top him?
Yes. I ask another question. Let's see you top him. Go ahead.
Well, do you have a dog?
Yes, I have a dog.
What's the dog's name?
Rover.
Rover. We have one called Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Des. Yes. You really came back in there, didn't you?
Yes.
Sing it in like that.
You want to know why it's called Carpenter?
Yes.
Because he does little jobs around the house.
Wonderful, John. So why didn't you say that?
But I was going to say that.
See, if you'd said that, you'd have gotten a laugh.
Yeah. Well, I think we ought to talk about the pantomimes.
That's
nice.
You've
just recently been in pantomimes. What were you in?
I was in Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
And you understand pantomimes?
No. I was going to ask this. Pantomime.
Well, first of all, let me explain. There's a principal boy.
Mm-hmm.
See, who's well, he's played by a girl. And then there's a principal girl. No. Yes, that's right, a principal girl, who's also played by a girl, right?
Yeah.
Now, the principal boy falls in love with the principal girl. And, I don't know quite how to explain it. And then there's the mother.
Oh, yes. That's played by a man.
And
so are his two sisters. The two sisters are as well.
Wait a minute. Her two sisters are played by men?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then there's there's a cow.
Who's played by a bull.
No, the cow's not played by a bull. He's played by two men.
And you take kids to see this stuff?
Yes. And it's traditional, you see. And there's the final, I think in your pantomime, do you have the scene with the princess and the frog?
Oh, yes, I've done that one, yes. It's always fascinated me, that, you see, because I don't really believe it, all this kissing a frog and it turning into a handsome prince. I don't really believe it.
No, it's a princess that kisses the frog.
Oh, it is?
It has to be a princess.
Oh, I see.
Sure.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry I came. We should have got somebody else, you see.
Well, why don't you try?
Try what?
You kissing a big, handsome prince will suddenly be here.
Will it?
No. I don't kiss him. I kiss a princess.
Well, he's just going to kiss you. You're not kissing anybody.
No, you don't have to do anything. You just sit there. I'll do the kissing. You just do the changing.
To pucker up here.
Yes. Are you ready? You want a drum roll? There you are. I told you it was a fairy story.
But mine was sitting up on the wall and didn't even fall over. She was very lucky.
Good luck with the record. Good
Thank you.
luck with the films.
Thank you.
And lovely to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Smashing guy, isn't he? Sometimes you expect with these sort of actors that they'd be real pigs, but he is really nice. Now, look, tomorrow night, I've got a guy coming in called Charles Thompson, who's written a book of poems called Lunchtime Rhymes, so it's totally appropriate for the middle of the night. And basically what he seems to do is to take a paper article and then write a poem about it. And there was an article in The Sun about Doctor Who, and this is very typical of his sort of poem. It's called The Demise of Doctor Who. I've got a poem for you, matey, and what I've got to say is weighty. What is this bad world coming to? The actor known as Doctor Who, so elegant and sharp and natty, swelled up into a massive fatty. The man who saved the world alone was felled by 15.5 stone. The man the Daleks couldn't fight was beaten by his appetite. But wait, there's help. Dun, 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 dun. Don't worry, folks, here comes the Sun. The paper we can understand. And now they've taken him in hand. In 4 weeks, he's lost 14 pounds. The Time Lord that was lost is found. But still the prospect's pretty black. 8 months ago, he got the sack. Well, that's the sort of poetry we can expect in the middle of the night. Now, I'm sure Charles is watching at the moment because he is, in fact, a night owl. Good for you. In fact, I phoned him the other morning to ask if he'd like to come on late, and I called him about 10 o'clock in the morning, and he was fast asleep, so he wasn't too chuffed at being woken by me. But never mind, he's here tomorrow night on Late Night Late. He'll be talking about his poetry, and he actually seems quite a good lad, so it could be fun. Now, here's something a little more sporting, a little more gentlemanly. Cricket from 200 years ago.
I'm frightfully sorry about that. Getting dangerous to breathe nowadays. This graph shows the decline in grain surpluses in the United States.
I'd better tighten the old belt some more.
Has unanimously condemned as barbarous the nerve gas bombings by the Chinese Air Force of major population areas. The Chinese government justified this horrendous action as necessary for survival. For comment, we have the eminent ecologist Sir Charles Brenner in the studio. Sir Charles, what is your reaction to the Chinese slaughter of 300 million of their own people?
Well, you know, it appears rather barbaric on the surface, but logically, they were acting to ensure the continuance of the Chinese nation. But from the Christian ethic, I do agree
May we assume then, Sir Charles, that in the unlikely event of a similar famine here, you would call such an action by our government equally logical?
It is extremely unlikely that we should be
let
placed
us
in these
accept
islands.
that it is unlikely, Sir Charles. But if the unlikely became reality, would you
I will not have you put words into my mouth.
I'm merely asking
You are trying to force me into a declaration regarding a pure...
We must apologize for the break in transmission. Normal services will be resumed as soon as possible.
The name's Albert. D-square.
9064 in the military.
We apologise for the loss of Minder, but of course we'll be returning to it as soon as possible.
For McCarthy's insurers. I suppose you know Terry McKay.
Midwinter spring is its own season, sempiternal though sodden toward sundown, suspended in time between pole and tropic. When the short day is brightest with frost and fire, the brief sun flames the ice on pond and ditches, in windless cold that is the heart's heat, reflecting in a watery mirror a glare that is blindness in the early afternoon. And glow more intense than blaze of branch or brazier stirs the dumb spirit. No wind, but Pentecostal fire in the dark time of the year. Between melting and freezing, the soul sap quivers. There is no earth smell or smell of living thing. This is the springtime, but not in time's covenant. Now the hedgerow is blanched for an hour with transitory blossom of snow. A bloom more sudden than that of summer, neither budding nor fading, not in the scheme of generation. Where is the summer, the unimaginable zero summer?
What's your reaction now you've been turned back on again?
Well, I think it's absolutely marvellous. I mean, we've all been rather upset to hear that half the constituency are sort of on and we're off. And I think that, like the war, we don't mind if everybody else is the same as we are, but you rather object to carrying buckets and buckets of water every day when, you know, you find that someone around the corner has got theirs turned on.
It's been very inconvenient. Of course it has, but we've made the best of it. I haven't suffered too badly.
I, in my opinion, intended to knock off 50p every week for fetching the water because the service is not rendered. They've withdrawn their services, so I'll withdraw my payment for the time that they do it.
Thank you very
That's
much
what I
indeed.
intend to do anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll send the bill in for the wife's damaged leg.
A second-class return costs £15.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Christmas on BBC One.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy Christmas from Daytime News.
Happy Christmas, everyone!
And a very Merry Christmas from me and everyone here at Film 87.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas! Happy
Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Have a very happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And a happy Christmas from Kilroy.
Happy Christmas! Happy Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas!
From all of us to all of you, a very happy Christmas. And a thriller minute. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is the big film for Christmas Day.
Wow! Holy smoke!
Big films for Christmas on BBC One.
His limbs all torn from the day it was born, for the tree was born in a thunderstorm. Grow, grow the lightning tree, it's never too late for you and me. Grow, grow the lightning tree, never give in too easily. Down in the meadow where the wind blows light, the lightning struck in the middle of the night. Limbs stripped bare by the lightning flare, the lightning flare was a wild affair. Grow, the lightning tree, it's never too late for you and me. Grow, grow the lightning tree, never give in too easily. Down in the meadow where the wind blows cold, the lightning tree stands stiff and old. Branches bent where the lightning rent from the firmament. Grow, grow the lightning tree, never give in too easily. Tree faced up to the test. Its heart went snap when it took the rap, the terrible rap of the thunderclap. Grow, grow the lightning tree, it's never too late for you and me. Grow, grow the lightning tree, never give in too easily. Down in the meadow when the wind blows free, I whisper of green in the lightning tree. Dreams come true when you want them to. If you want them to, then it's up to you. Grow, grow the lightning tree, never give in too easily. Grow, grow the lightning tree, it's never too late for you and me. Grow, grow the lightning tree, never give in too easily. Grow, grow the lightning tree, it's never too late for you and me. Grow, grow the lightning tree, never give in too easily. Lightning tree.
Well, if you know what's happening at the moment, you're better informed than I am. But when I know what's happening, I shall doubtless be told, and I shall pass that information on to you.
she was not alone. With my own hands, I killed her.
Starring Boris Karloff.
A Handsworth trader opened for business today, even though his shop was burnt out in last Monday's riot. But feelings are still running high among the Asian community. All their representatives on Birmingham's Community Relations Council have resigned in protest at what they see as West Indian domination.
Bitter resentment about the way they feel they've been treated has been festering among Handsworth Asians all week. Chief among the victims of the looting and burning, they complain of lax policing and a failure by Afro-Caribbean leaders roundly to condemn the rioting. But their anger this afternoon focused on Birmingham's Community Relations Council, which they say has been dominated by West Indian leaders for too long. Amid noisy acclaim, nearly a dozen Asian members publicly resigned from the council.
TVI program in Education Department from the Relations Council, Ireland.
The Asian Liaison Group called on the Community Relations Council to take a much stronger line on law and order.
Local government workers in Liverpool say they'll blockade next Monday's meeting at the Town Hall when the City Council is due to issue redundancy notices. The unions say that if they prevent the council from meeting, it'll run out of money in a fortnight. Magistrates in Manchester have told a man suffering from AIDS that he must stay in hospital. They ruled that he should be detained in Monsell Isolation Hospital for 3 weeks after Manchester's medical officer said he posed a health risk to others. The man, who's 29, wants to leave the hospital. The main supermarket chains in the Irish Republic have agreed to phase out the sale of South African goods. The move follows talks between the stores and trade unions in an attempt to end a 14-month strike by workers at a supermarket in Dublin.
The strike.
One cal is celebrated 'cause it makes life less complicated. One cal, calorie counting's overrated. I'm a one cal fan. One cal, just tell the waiter. One cal, if you're a diet hater, what can come without a calculator. One cal can. One cal, a refreshing little number.
Hello. Now we have an advert that should go down really well with the lager quaffers of this world. Doesn't have any words in it.
Well, obviously the problem is the monster comes from Europe. We have used it in Carrefour France and transporting it on a 40-foot trunk. The problem is you have is transport. But we've had no problems so far. As regards from the noise point of view, residents in the area, we ask them to report if the noise level is too high. Because as you know, they're all can extend to 2 miles.
You're not afraid of scaring people away?
No, it's the prices at the main attraction. This is the fun side of it. And we always do something out of the ordinary. We're the first hypermarket, and this is the first time Big Monk's been in the UK.
Yes, I think it is now, but maybe I can go for creative stamp work.
What, driving a runaway coach team or something?
Try anything once, yes.
And are they paying you a fortune to go through with it?
No, they're not, unfortunately.
What's the next job?
Well, it's back to the tedious work of modelling.
Demanderai à mon ami. Hubert. C'est la Miss. Oh, Miss Joe. Miss Roma. Miss Carafoli. Oh, Folie. Oui. She's pretty.
And the forecast for tomorrow, mainly dry and cosy, if a little bit hairy up north, and associated troughs of manual depression to relax in, as you can see. Until tomorrow, when we once again stop the mighty roar of Wales's traffic from Cheryl, Big Mon, and Port Wales. Bye-bye, good night.
Good night, thank you.
Mon ami.
So you see, there's a tremendous amount of work and a lot of organisation that goes into location filming like this.
Come on, Louise. It's your big moment next.
Oh, right, here we go.
Gonna be a star. Come on.
Now watch this very carefully, because it's a bit clever, this.
If you say the magic spell, we might just be able to get Louise to appear.
So you aren't getting your money's worth.
If you can, I'll get you.
Robin, I cannot thank you enough for your timely rescue.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Ducky. We haven't had such a giggle since we rolled the Sheriff of Nottingham in the cow pasture, have we, lads?
I suppose this is the Robin Hood.
Well, Ducky, what do you think of our camp?
Oh, I think that's the word for it. Lovely.
Oh, lack a lot. Aren't they magnificent in their Lincoln green?
They certainly are.
It is lovely colour, isn't it? Designed them myself, you know. Did you? Oh, yes. Mind you, I prefer our winter outfits, Beth.
Yes.
Black leather.
Oh.
Cut very tight across the hips. Open thonging up the chest.
Very boyish.
Of course, we're not looking our best at the moment.
No.
Lost most of our sequins.
Oh, how maddening.
Havoc. It's all this swinging through the trees, you know.
You swing?
Oh, every night.
Yeah, I guessed it.
Now, are you sure you've had enough to eat? There's oodles of ratatouille left.
No, I've had oodles of oodles, thank you. Beautifully cooked.
Oh, that's That's Alan.
Alice?
No, Alan.
Oh, Alan.
Alan Adale. It's a bit limp-wristed when it comes to the spices, but otherwise he's all right. His Abalione is out of this world.
Really?
I can't touch it, of course. It's far too fattening.
You have to watch your figure, don't you?
Well, exactly. I mean, these suits show everything.
So I noticed.
Saucy.
Here, mate. Watch it.
I'm sorry. Would you like to meet the rest of the lads?
Oh, you mean the boys in the band?
That's Friar Tuck. He ministers to our spiritual needs.
I must say, he looks a bit drab compared to you.
Oh, that's because he's religious, you see.
Ah.
Mind you, you should see what he wears underneath.
He wouldn't dare. Oh.
Outrageous! And, that is Will Scarlet.
Yes. They've named a fever after him, haven't they?
Oh, you look lovely, dear. Big Ed. Will insist on designing all his own gear, you know.
Oh.
Silly boy, because he can be seen a mile away.
I'm surprised he doesn't get picked up by the Norman soldiers.
Oh, he does all the time. Why do you think he wears it?
Yeah, who's that one over there?
That is Little John.
I must say, he doesn't look very little to me.
Robin!
Oh, what is it much?
Look at that brute Friar Tuck has done to my tights. I'll kill him, I really will.
All right, Much, you are far too much. Take them off, I'll darn them for you.
Aren't they magnificent? You know, Lokalot, I must confess, I'm bent on joining them.
I've got a feeling you'll have to be.
Now the first part of Alan Bleasdale's four-part story, The Monocled Mutineer. It's set during the First World War, when conditions were sometimes harsh and unbearably brutal.
Paul McGann stars as Percy Topless, the monocled mutineer.
Hey, you're late. Johnson's walking up and down cussing.
You cannot solve this problem. You only make the problem worse. It's like throwing petrol onto a fire. Like you can't repeat that. No, I accept that there is a certain amount of intelligence information available to both police forces. But certainly at groups.
Well, I'm sorry. We appear to have lost the monocled mutineer for the moment. We'll try and bring it back to you as quickly as possible. In the meantime, here's some music.
Going to London, certainly, sir, I'll tell you how. Going to London, certainly, madam, there are 6 buses an hour. You can get a bus from stop number 4. Just join the queue. It takes an hour and a half to get there. Thanks very much. Thank you.
In the uncertain hour before the morning, near the ending of interminable night, at the recurrent end of the unending, after the dark dove with the flickering tongue had passed below the horizon of his homing, while the dead leaves still rattled on like tin over the asphalt where no other sound was, between 3 districts whence the smoke arose, I met one walking, loitering and hurried, as if blown towards me like the metal leaves before the urban dawn wind unresisting. And as I fixed upon the downturned face the pointed scrutiny with which we challenge the first met stranger in the waning dusk, I caught the sudden look of some dead master whom I had known, forgotten, half recalled, both one and many. In the brown-baked features, the eyes of a familiar compound ghost, both intimate and unidentifiable. So I assumed a double part and cried, and heard another's voice cry, "What, are you here?" Although we were not, I was still the same, knowing myself, yet being someone other, and he a face still forming. Yet the words sufficed to compel the recognition they preceded, and so compliant to the common wind, too strange to each other for misunderstanding. In concord, at this intersection time of meeting nowhere, no before and after, we trod the pavement in a dead patrol. I said, "The wonder that I feel is easy, yet ease is cause of wonder. Therefore speak. I may not comprehend, may not remember." And he, "I am not eager to rehearse my thought and theory which you have forgotten. These things have served their purpose. Let them be. So with your own, and pray they be forgiven by others, as I pray you to forgive, both bad and good. Last season's fruit is eaten, and the full-fed beast shall kick the empty pail. For last year's words belong to last year's language, and next year's words await another voice. But as the passage now presents no hindrance to the spirit unappeased and peregrine, between 2 worlds become much like each other, so I find words I never thought to speak in streets I never thought I should revisit when I left my body on a distant shore.
This is Commander Henry playing the Day Out in Dudley Time Interface game.
Well,
rummaging around amongst all this amazing fauna and flora.
It's a brilliant place, Dudley Zoo. And now Dudley Castle. Yeah! Arise, Sir Lenny the Lookout. And now the Black Country Museum. Got it.
There's your flower.
Thanks very much.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Hey, this is brilliant. Ooh, now we're going into the canal tunnel. Look at this. Leggy Henry. Have you ever tried blowing glass? Tricky or what? Now for a pint of real ale.
That is Boston.
Dudley, for a day out of this world.
Hey, that's brilliant!
Can't argue with that.
Other Labour notables had a rather different explanation why so many traditional Labour voters actually opted for Mrs Thatcher in the end. Former Labour Chief Whip, Bob Mellish.
And here is a lesson to be learned. There are millions of trade unionists who have voted Conservative. Let's admit it frankly and freely, don't let's run away. And I think some trade unionists, leaders in particular, must ask themselves the question, why?
This is BBC Two.
Standing by.
Well, we're sorry, we obviously have one or two problems with getting to our programme, Are You Being Properly Served? We hope to join it in just a few seconds. In the meantime, a bit of music.
At last. What a wonderful moment this is. The last of the McCancocks returns home. This warrants a ceremonial march. I shall stride across the glen and up to the castle playing me pipes. The skirl will be a rallying call to the clans to let them know the McCancocks are back. What's the time?
The little hand's
No,
on.
not you, somebody else. It's only 10:30.
Good evening and welcome to the Edinburgh International Television Festival, a small but distinctive part of the general cultural spree now engulfing Scotland's capital city. I use the word...
It's very odd. I don't even know your name, but after this one Campari and soda, I feel I almost know you. May I freshen your glass? Soda, of course.
No, lemonade.
Campari and lemonade.
Yeah, nice colour, isn't it?
Campari, with soda, with lemonade, with tonic, but always with pleasure.
Were you truly wafted here from paradise?
No, Luton Airport.
Who would you like to be?
I'd like to be Samantha Fox.
Really?
Yeah. I came close to being it once as
Go on,
well.
that was a tale. Go on, what's your
Well, I got a phone call from my friend's mother,
Yeah.
and she says it's David's 18th party in a couple of weeks. Would you do us a favour? So I said, well, it depends what it is. So she says, well, his dad's built him a big cake. Will he dress up as a kissogram and jump out?
After the top of the cake?
I says, oh, yeah, you know. So I got all donned up.
What did you have on?
I had my red corset on and my black suspenders and my choker and everything, all my hair done. And it got to the party, we were having a few drinks, and they said, it's time, he's gone upstairs. So out came this big cake, and they gave me this bottle of champagne. Here, they says, get in the cake, and when he comes, wait for us to sing happy birthday and pop the champagne, and out you come, you see. So I says, well, how will I get the top off? Oh, you'll be all right, you'll be all right. So they pushed me and put the lid on, and I was inside thinking, I'll never get the top off, what shall I do? And they started singing, so I thought, well, I'll shake it up. So I started shaking the champagne up, and I could feel the cork coming out, and I thought, oh no, they're not ready, so I was holding it down with my thumbs, and the end of the song came, and I couldn't hold it in any longer, so I just went, whee, like that, and the champagne came out all over, but when I looked down, I'd popped out of my corset as well.
Have a good night, Ted. A lovely story, that man. Give it up, Hi, man. Welcome to the show. Nice tale. That wouldn't have minded being at that party, would you? It was all right, that wasn't it?
Scotland Yard say there have been no developments in their investigation of a reported sighting in London of the international terrorist Ilich Ramirez Sanchez, or Carlos, as he's called. But a journalist who has followed Carlos's career says he's certain the sighting is genuine and fears it could mark the start of a new terrorist campaign. Ken Rees has been looking at the man who's also known as the Jackal.
He's the world's most wanted man, the son of a wealthy Venezuelan lawyer. His profession is spreading terror worldwide. He has links with groups like the PLO, Baader-Meinhof, even the Red Brigades. Perhaps his most spectacular operation was the kidnapping of the Arab oil ministers from Vienna in 1975. 3 people were murdered here, but Carlos escaped, adding to a growing list of bombings and shootings, including in London an attempt to kill Marks & Spencer's boss, Mr. Joseph Seif. Earlier in 1975, detectives raided a flat in Bayswater. They found a death list of well-known British people and a terrorist arsenal, but the tenant had fled. It was Carlos. He'd escaped using a false passport and his skill at disguise. The pictures on this wanted poster show just 3 of his many faces. He's lain low now for 2 years, but it's feared he could be in London again. An Arab embassy official says he saw Carlos parking a car here in Notting Hill a few weeks ago, less than a mile from his old base.
More people get indigestion when they get to bed than at almost any other time. That's when more people find relief with Rennie than with any other indigestion tablet.
You must bear in mind that these studios are haunted by The Who. That was The Damned with Smash It Up, and I just can't be happy today. I think they enjoyed themselves.
People bought my latest hits, cause they like my latex tits. And they were trying hard to get inside my leotard. Went to my hairdresser to have the hairdo. He asked if I knew à la recherche de ton hairdo. That's how I was introduced to Colette Cocteau and Marcel Proust. Now whole food cookery is just a sideline. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
original cop.
Cause the cop psychosis theories and the Fibonacci theories studied acupuncture and the Bible. Fire bubble, open the windows in my mind. It's not your mind, it's your body they're into, my business manager said. He said that I need an intellect like I need a hole in the hole in the hole in the head. Though I'm an honorary member of Mensa now, I'm going to try and keep up the pretense somehow. Could you buy my latest hits because you like my latex tits? And you're trying hard to get inside my leotard, leotard, leotard. England, my leotard.
Big swing, the big swing. A bigger splash. A bigger splash. No. No. Loony.
Feet.
Loony. Loony.
Feet. Daft. You are mad, Sakito.
No. Bows and arrows. William Tell.
No.
Oh, no. At the Opera House, Manchester.